Hello, Barflies fans. We're back now. It's time for the regular season. The preseason is behind us. Don't worry, we're going to talk about it, right? And we are ready to celebrate the 10th season at the home field this year, which kicks off this weekend with the home opener and a special guest to open up that game. As always, I'm here with Pete. How are you, Mr. Burgee?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's the calm before the storm of the season. We got the last training behind us just today, a couple hours ago, and Saturday we're at home, kick it off, home opener, season opener, and Hog and Chipmunks as our guest, and so it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, well, hopefully you keep the storms, the actual storms away, and it is only baseball that gets played this year. Keep the field dry and the players on the field.
Yeah, I know we've only had actually two practices this whole off season on the field where we were
Ooh.
allowed to be on the field. A lot of rain has kept us off so not not optimal playing time to get this going here.
Hey, you have to learn where all the rocks are, right?
Exactly, exactly. Where did that mole dig a hole?
You have to watch out for those. So I guess the best place to start is last time we left it off, the preseason was getting ready to kick off, and since then you've had a game against Marl. You've had a round robin this past weekend, and I understand a bunch of new faces. So let's dig into the preseason. First, let's just start with just a general overall feeling with how the troops are feeling and how the games have gone so far.
Well, if it's any indication of the attitude and the anticipation and the excitement of the team, we have 18 people that have signed up in our tracking software to be at the game on Saturday. So, a little bit of how to put it is it's a good news and bad news. It's my responsibility to go in and with so much choice, there's a lot of it's like, oh well, I do have to, who do I put here now, because there is that choice. When you look at last season, we were averaging about 10 players per game, and so to have pretty much everybody to choose from heading in, they're all excited and ready to go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have. Rather than trying to find players, it's great to have some enthusiasm, have a bunch of guys that want to come out. Some of the vets have been around for a while, some of the new faces that are ready to jump in there and really do stuff and put the bat on the ball and put it in play. So let's talk about the games then. What have you kind of learned about your team while you've been playing these preseason games and through the preseason training and everything that's getting you ready to really jump into this first game this weekend and kick the season off right?
Yeah, it's interesting with the way that we've kind of played preseason, since we only get just a couple weekends, is really to see, get our gloves oiled up and ready to go, and kind of the cleats dusted off, and get some playing time under our belt, so we're not going out first game of the season and you know where do I throw the ball? Oh no, not behind the
Yeah.
runner.
Yeah,
So
right. Yeah, don't be
um,
the first of the third out at third
right,
base.
exactly, exactly. The first game a couple weekends ago was in Marl. It was supposed to be a home game, but again, the field conditions. Luckily, Marl stepped up and had their field ready, and so we were able to move down the road a little bit north to play on their home field. And that was our first chance this whole off season to actually be on a diamond. So
Oh
uh,
wow.
is the anxiousness, and it's like, okay, well, where's left field? Can you? So yeah, I mean that was what we tried to do with that, is to really cycle through and give everybody some playing time, pretty much across the whole diamond. So started off, gave Chris what 18 batters, about 18 batters, and then Shinsuka came in his first time on the mound, played for an inning. And we had Adrian come in and pitch a couple innings, and I wrapped it up there as the closer. But then have everybody else just kind of go through and test out positions, see where they feel comfortable, and just kind of just play some ball, just have some fun and so that was the game against Marl. We like to go through and in good spirit and in good friendship fashion say everybody gets a run each inning. So we weren't tallying the scores. I'm sure somebody was kind of off in the stands picking them off. But no, considering so the lack of playing time and the wild lineup that had no cohesion, like no not cohesion. That's the wrong word. Like lack of foundation. So not knowing where you are and not having played in that part of the lineup and stuff like that. So we did all right. And going up against a 20-man team in Marl, with I think we had 10 people there. So we held our own for as long as we could, but at some point it just got exhausting as it would.
Well, yeah, but that's great to hear how you're able to move people around the field because the ball comes off the bat and it looks different at different points on the field in some places. I know it has been a long time since I played on the field, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on who you ask. But when sometimes the you can feel very good in left field, but maybe the ball just you don't see it in right field for some reason, the way the ball comes off the bat. And
Yeah.
so having that opportunity to move around and find out where guys are comfortable is a really, really valuable experience.
Yep. Yep, for sure. Yeah. Then yeah, so I guess moving on to last week, we had the round robin with Hagen and with Hochdahl. And so two teams we know very well and we've played against quite often. And so it was just a wonderful time on our field now. We had three games. We played the first and the third game. And with that, it was more of less. The first game we looked at consistency, so we kept people pretty much in a standard lineup just to kind of see where things would go and tried some different things on defense, so some running the hustle double when you probably would have stayed at first, or trying to take third when you might going at first to third when it's a shallow left field, so you probably shouldn't have to do that, but trying to make plays and manufacture see where people are in terms of base running. That was the first game. And then the last game against Hochdahl was again like every inning we're moving people around, and again I think it was we only had an hour and a half to play for each of those games, so it was time constraint, and but it was quite fun to see that even against Hochdahl with the lineup that we had, people playing positions that they've never played before. I think Patrick, our catcher, was out in left field at one point, and it was a little chaotic. But we had like 10 people on defense at one point. It's like, who are you coming in for? It's, so it was a lot of fun, and all the teams had a lot of fun, and it was a great time. Especially getting ready for the season. Yeah.
Well, that's good. So you said you just finished up training for today. And I guess then that makes, since you all are, of course, professional athletes, tomorrow a rest day. Obviously, nobody has to wake up and go into work or anything like that. So that moves us into Saturday. Am I right on that? Saturday is the home opener.
Mhm.
We're going to have perfectly sunny skies and ready to play, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It
Yeah, I
sure is,
love it.
right?
So as you're moving into that home opener and getting ready to really get the season going, it's great that you get to start at home. That's a really fun way to start the season. Have y'all started to kind of like start thinking about the pitching rotation going into Saturday? Do you have a day one starter ready to go like they would have in the major leagues? This is my day one starter, or is it just kind of show up, start warming up, and see how everybody feels and goes from there? Kind of how do you guys handle that going into that first game of the season?
Um, to be honest, I haven't actually made that decision yet. I have two pitchers, so it's either going to be Adrian or Chris to start, and both of them can go. Well, because of the regulations, Adrian's a Cuban, and so he's only allowed to pitch 3. So he'll either go the 3 innings to start, and then we'll bring in Chris for the long relief, or we'll go Chris as the starter, long starter, and then bring Adrian for, depending on how the game goes. Haven't quite decided on that. Um, the What's challenging for me is I really want Adrian also in the lineup. So we might go with an Otani rule, and have whoever starts be the DH and kind of go that way, just to kind of play around with that. But no, I'm not sure. That's it. It might come down to a game time decision, but I'll mull it all over now that I've had have nothing to do tomorrow, right?
Yeah, nothing to do tomorrow, of course. So I didn't mean to put you on the spot there. I was just
No,
kind
no,
of
it's no problem. One of the things that we changed, we're changing up this year since we have so many people on our lineup. I think I just did the official list, and we're at 22. And obviously, you can't start 22 players. It would be fun, quite interesting to do that. But we we've implemented kind of a algorithm to determine who gets the priority start, right? It's a ranking system based on how often you've been at training, how often you've said that you're coming to training or to a game, so that kind of alleviates some of the stress on my part. It's like, well, how do I, rather than waiting for the actual practice to start, who do I have? So any way to relieve that stress and be part of the team and relieve that stress on the rest of the team too. There's also the third aspect, which is helping out around the club. We have lots of umpires, so a couple umpires got their first start actually last weekend. A couple more are going this weekend as well. So as they help the club and as they help the team and are there, that's going to bump them up in the priority starting ranks, and we'll see how it goes. And but yeah, that's the plan for the starting rotation.
so you brought up the umpires, and this is something that I really wanted to talk about, and I was going to save it till a little bit later, but you brought it up now. I've been seeing quite a bit and talking with you, that you know, you've just like you said, you've got a bunch of guys that have really taken that next step and gotten their umpire card. They're doing that sort of stuff that's helpful to the club, it's helpful to the league, and that now the particular point that I'm interested in is how do you feel that that helps those guys when it comes to actually being in the moment in the game, understanding a little bit deeper the rules of this very strange game with very strange rules. Do you feel that having that umpire card, having that experience, helps them with that to understand how to play the game a little bit better? And kind of a second part to that is, do you think that that kind of helps sometimes with some animosity you might have, maybe not animosity, but a little disappointment in a particular game day umpire, because I've been in those shoes and that's a harder job than I care to admit when I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I think so. It's during the course, I had the pleasure of doing the course with Adrian and Daniel, and with Adrian being a lifelong baseball player as well, being raised with it, there's things that you don't quite understand. I mean, just look at, shout out to Close Call Sports. They're big in there and giving umpires their, some of those um, tricky plays to call. It's like going through the rules and things like that. And it really helps you understand, peel back that onion a little bit more and understand some of the decisions that the umpires make, and the difficulty in a two-man system to really see that play. A timing play at home, you have to be in the right position to see where the tag up was and things like that. And one of um, the past 2 games, we've had the chance for some of our umpires to actually get that on the job training during the test, during the friendly games, and it's a whole different thing when they see themselves then on film as an umpire, saying, "Oh, I'm following the ball in the outfield, and no, I need to see that the guy running to second from home to second, that he didn't miss the that first bag, right? So
right?
uh, it it's it definitely does give you that added respect for those volunteers that are going out there every weekend to help keep the league going, right? And we all need to do our part, and it really comes down to community and what's your niche and where can you be helpful? Even if you're not a player, if you enjoy watching the game, or we have a lot of tasks along the side that help keep it running, whether it's from catering or setting up the system or keeping score. We have talking about new players. One of the new guys that is just kind of trying out. He hasn't signed up yet, but he's trying out. He came to one of the games and he was just helping keep score on the scoreboard. So all of those little things help throughout. Alleviates the stress on the management, on the coaches, on the players. So yeah.
So then I'm peeling off in another direction again. You talk about the scoreboard, just to kind of help some of us understand, at these games, is there an official score? Is there an official score for each team, and then that gets compared after the game? Can you kind of enlighten us a little bit to how that happens?
Yeah, so there is an official score that is there taking the official score throughout the game. So at the end, there is an official score, and I think I can find it really quick. Oh, no, normally I have like all over, but I cleaned my desktop, so I don't have the official score. I do have the the umpire book next to me, but no, there's an official score log and a score book that gets sent off to the league, and that gets distributed to all the other teams as well. So I got to see some of the games that had their opening game last weekend. So yeah.
Ah, okay, very cool. Yeah, just a little sidebar there, but I thought, just to understand how the league works a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, they go through and get certified just like the umpires. And
No, all right. Well, I mean, that's I don't know. At the risk of maybe hurting some feelings, it seems very German. Make sure everybody is certified and knows exactly what they're doing. So but it's a good thing because scoring is. I'll be perfectly honest. Just yesterday evening, me and my son were talking about scoring and like arguing some of the finer points of how that works, and it can be very subjective. So it's
oh yeah.
probably good to have it's probably good to have some training in it. I think I learned from my grandpa, and then my son learned from me. So I'm not saying that. Well, we're not certified.
That's all right. I mean, Patrick was there for the second game where we had the break during the round robin. Patrick, our new scorer, he was taking notes and trying to follow along. And so you always have that one question. Well, so that blooper was that normal effort, and well, whose normal effort is it? Your normal effort or the normal effort for the league? And we had four scores, official scores, all sitting around him, all with different opinions. Well.
Oh, okay. So it's the same. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, before we move on to some of the other goings on with the team, before we move away from opening day, um, do you have an honorary first pitch person? Who is that, and why are they chosen? Or no, we're just going to play ball.
Yeah, well, this year we do. It's a special season for us, and we're also we have invited Heiko Schneider from the Sportbund Bochum. He will be coming in and throwing the first pitch. And for my hair, we're going to have a little ceremony right before the plate meeting. And yeah, that's going to be. We haven't had a first pitch in since. Uh, oh, I think we've had two first pitches, I think, since we've been at this field. The official first pitch 10 years ago, and I think about 5 years ago uh, um, for our 20th anniversary, we also had a first pitch. So yeah, it's gonna
Well,
excited to have
10
him
years at
happy.
the yeah, 10 years at the home field seems like a good time to do that again.
Yep.
So Very cool way to kick off the season. We're all excited to find out, what the club looks like on game one, what it looks like throughout the rest of the season. We're excited to get real baseball up and moving now that it's officially spring.
I know it's like this the calm before the storm. It's like, yeah, let's get it going.
So something that we had touched on the last time that we got together and talked was about this community outreach project that you guys were talking about that involves lacrosse. Um, so now that it's been, I don't know, anywhere between 1 day and 8 months since we talked last, can you kind of give us an update on that, what that's all, how that's going, I should say, and or if it's going, and are you guys having fun with that?
Oh, it's a blast. It's a blast. Yeah. We started March 6th, I think was the first class that we had. And it basically it's 2 hours about every other week. But it's a 2 hours on Wednesday and the first hour, so we split with lacrosse. So the lacrosse takes half the class and we'll take the other half, and halfway through then we swap places. And it's a blast. I mean, the seeing seeing the 11th and 12 year olds, the first time with the glove on their hand, right? And the typical thing, you put the glove on and you put the finger directly in the glove, and so no, you put you take your index finger out, and so what was fun, the reason I mentioned that is because a couple weeks, so last week we had another session. I think this was probably the fourth time that we've had it. And we went out of the gym and into the classroom and did a video kind of uh, class on that. And so we kind of walked through, these are the rules, and this is kind of the strategy and things like that. And so they really enjoyed that. And there's one of the videos, somebody was learning baseball for the first time, and an adult, putting the glove on. Hey, hey, so it's like, yeah, they're following right along, they're picking it up, seeing the look on their faces when they catch the ball for the first time, and like, hey, look, I caught it, and showing everybody. Or there was this one time where this one girl was hesitant to swing or to have her chance to at bat, and it's like, no, I'm not going to hit it. I'm like, no, don't worry, and I'm sure you've done this too, with your kids, like, where they're going to swing, where to put the ball. And so being able to see that, giving them the opportunity to hit the ball, and it's like, hey, look, I hit it. It's like, oh, now run, right?
Yeah. Yes, yeah. No, that way, that way.
Yeah. So no, they're loving it. I'm having a great time with it as well. And yeah, it's going to go on a few more weeks. We've been at their school uh, now. Well, for the first half of the engagement, and then the second half of the engagement will be coming out to our fields, and so we'll be doing some at lacrosse and some at our field, and
Oh.
yeah, really exciting.
That's what a great time. I think it's great that you guys are able to get out in the community and do that and introduce another game to them, expose them to a game that you love. And it's fun to teach somebody about something that you're already passionate about. Because I think that the kids really do feed off of that and see like, oh no, he really likes this. Maybe I'll really like this too.
Yeah, and that goes without saying. I think how many times have I been in a corporate setting where the person presenting just really didn't want to be there, and it comes across, right?
This could have been an email.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Well,
I
cool.
enjoy it
That's
too. I'm
awesome.
glad that they're having a blast, and it's been positive feedback so far. And yeah, and that's part of the cooperation with the Sportbund in Bochum, and why Heiko is coming out to throw out the first pitch on Saturday, is that cooperation. And yeah, being part of the community and offering um, the schools something else that they're, from from yeah, from people who are passionate about it, right?
Yeah. Oh no, that's excellent. I love that you guys are doing that. That's incredible. You know, that's just awesome.
Hopefully there'll be more. Yeah, we've had other discussions too, so hopefully some of those seeds will bloom, and fingers
Well,
crossed that
I,
we'll have a winter league team. That's the goal at this point, is to be able to field.
I was just gonna say, like, hopefully you can ignite a little bit of excitement in a few of those young folks, and you know, maybe get them to think this is something that I want to do more of.
Yep.
That would be incredible. Now, once again, with the last time we had talked, and just today, you know, you said you got 18 people signed up for this weekend, kind of 22 in general. Um, that's a lot of new faces. You know, that's double what we were seeing last year, right?
Mhm.
Um, so that's really exciting for your group. And I understand that there was probably some pictures of all those new faces taken here recently. How your photo session went, if it's for a Speedo calendar or what you
No, we're not quite there yet. Yeah. Yeah, no, no, for sure. Yeah, we had a great a photo shoot the other day, last week at practice, I believe. And yeah, no, they came out good. We were due for new profile pictures for everybody, and as part of the multimedia that we wanted to get done, we needed different framings and different filters and things like that, and different action photos. And so, yeah, so shout out to the photographer for that. And I'll look in the description. We'll be sure to link that in there, and you'll see, you know, those come out throughout the year. In fact, the first one you've already seen if you follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Evgeny, he was one of our new players, and he signed up actually on that day and was right involved with the photo shoot. So he's all good to go.
Oh, I love it. That's exciting, man. So now, of course, the next step is you have to buy a jumbotron and get an audio system so you can put their picture up there and have walk-up music.
First, we're gonna go with the lights. Yeah,
Yeah. How dare you go practical? That's
yeah.
ridiculous.
You know, no, I mean, we've had this discussions. Oh, what kind of tech can we get? You know, we're talking like Rapsodo and hit tracks and things like that. It's like all the toys. Yeah. It's like, well, let's start small. Let's get let's, you know, let's start with a photo shoot, and then maybe we'll sell a camera. That's a good idea.
Well, at this point, I've been kind of leading you all over the place. This has been a wandering path, no sorts of not a whole lot of direction really. But before we get into the season here, we've kind of talked about some stuff. Is there anything else that like you really want to bring to the forefront and talk about that I haven't brought up?
No, yeah, I think we've covered quite a lot of ground. No, I'm just really looking forward to the season. You know, we have a full league. We 14 games coming up, and there's going to be some really good games. I mean, we've played Marl in the preseason. We played Hagen now in the preseason, and just if that's any indication of what's coming up this year, is going to be really exciting. You know, and I just hope that all of you out there will be able to follow along either remotely through what we're able to post online, game recaps coming up, or the condensed games. Or if you're in Germany and you're able to come to the field, come on down. Everything's posted online when we have our home games. Or if you're not even near Bochum, check out your local team. You know, they're looking for people as much as we are to help out with them, and looking for players, looking for umpires and scores and all that, the whole kit and caboodle. So yeah, if you
Get
like
involved,
baseball,
get
get
involved.
involved. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you, Pete, you know, had fun talking last time. We had some fun talking today. I am really looking forward to the next time when we are going to get into what we like to do best, which is actually start to break down some baseball games and talk about the things that have happened, talk about the heroes of the game. You know, it's that's always my favorite thing that we do every year is actually when I get an opportunity to talk actual baseball and talk about what's actually happened. And I'm excited to watch what this team does this year. I think it's going to be fun on a game to game basis to see the season unfold and watch the new players, kind of move into their new roles or new positions, try things out. There's going to be a lot of excitement. So I'm really looking forward to that. I can't wait till we get to that point and start talking about some baseball.
Yeah, me too. And like I said, is the calm before the nerves, they start until that first pitch is going to be like, did I do did they do that right? Did they get it right? It was like, oh, let's see how they do on Saturday, and we'll break it down. And yeah, hopefully we'll have some good news when we do those breakdowns. And if not, then there's always opportunity to learn and see where we can move forward with it. Yeah.
Well, the fun thing about baseball is when you show up to the park, you're going to see something you've never seen before.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to talking that baseball. And with that, I guess, Pete, it's been wonderful talking to you. You've got a game to get ready for, so rest up and don't do anything tomorrow. Just like we talked about, and I guess play ball.
Eat some Wheaties.
Yeah. All right, Pete. We'll talk to you, Bochum Nation. We'll talk to you. Good luck in the game this Saturday. Go out there, knock socks off, and more importantly, have a great time while you're doing it.
Thanks, Kevin. Take care. And clap.
Nailed it.
Oh, gotcha.